Riders, it's Josh from CycleHunters.com. And today we have a 2015 Yamaha Raider 1900, 113 cubic inch, 1854 cc's, I believe. This thing is near flawless. Beautiful, beautiful bike overall. Stunning look. That production chopper we all know and love, and love to ride it because these things have massive torque, lots of curb appeal, just an overall comfortable ride for that type of a bike, that production chopper look. Something that's going to offer you all-day performance anywhere you want to go. You and a passenger can ride pretty much effortlessly to wherever you're looking for as far as your destination. So as we get into this, you're going to see, like I said, this thing is pretty much impeccable. Bar ends are unbelievably good. Everything on this bike is pretty much tip-top. I cannot find a blemish really anywhere. The paint is like a burgundy metallic. You can kind of see it. It is like glass. Scintillates. It is so well taken care of. Overall, like I said, you're going to find maybe a little couple scuffs there. But when you see how many miles on this bike, you're going to be pretty much shocked. Chrome is incredibly good. Paint all around. It is just a beautiful machine. My guess is that the person that owned this prior probably looked at it more than they rode it, and the mileage would tell you that. The exhaust, fully stock. This bike is completely stock. It has the backrest on it. Now this is a hard mount, so it is not the quick release. But for somebody that's looking to have a passenger, well, you're going to love that. Overall, like I said, you're not going to really be seeing anything blemish-wise. So if you were looking for a Yamaha Raider, I would jump all over this one ASAP. Pulley's really in great shape. Swing arm. It's just everything on this bike. It is pretty much flawless. Or as flawless as you're going to get for a 2015 model. So if you're somebody that, like I said, you'll want a cruiser, but you don't want your stereotypical heritage or something in that realm. You want a little bit of attitude, something that's going to give you that ability to kind of just kick back, but you got style. Style for days. Well, this is definitely the bike. Look at that. There you go. You can kind of see it there. So good. You can imagine in the sunlight that paint, the scintillation. Nice mag wheels, tubeless. You know, Yamaha did an amazing job designing this bike, because in that chopper sort of explosion that we had several years back, you had seen a lot of custom stuff out there. Now, all those are well and good. However, the problem is that custom stuff, you have to find people to work on that, and parts are usually a little bit tougher to come by. But this is a production bike from Yamaha. Vstar Motorcycles is their cruiser division, and they had done such a great job on this bike by putting, number one, a massive 1900 1854 cc motor in it, which sounds amazing, by the way, especially when you get it uncorked with an exhaust. But the riding position, for most of the chopper style bikes, you're kind of stretched out. This one, it may look like it, but it's not as stretched as you might think. The appearance is there. At slow speeds, walking around in a parking lot, you're able to handle it, especially even if you have a passenger on the back. It's not something that's top heavy at all. So everything is mass centralized. The weight's underneath you. There's not a whole lot of weight in front or back that you're taking over, you know, the arc when you're tipping it in left or right. Passenger pegs. Nice comfortable seat. Again, this bike is completely stock. Controls are very simple. High beam, low beam, turn signal cancel, and your horn. That sounds almost like a car horn. On the right side, you have your on-off, your hazard lights, and you have your starter. But now when you look at the gauge cluster, which is on the tank, you can see this bike only has 1,697 miles on it. Not even 2,000 miles. Typical break-in for a bike is 1,600 miles, so this is just past that point. So you see the digital readout for the odometer. You have a clock. You have your odometer, your clock. You have your tach, or your speedometer rather, your fuel gauge, and your neutral light, high beam, low beam light, which the bike needs to be on for that. You can see your right and left turn signals, your check engine light there as well, and within the fuel gauge you have your low fuel light. So for somebody, again, if you're looking to go on a trip and you want to make sure that you're not going to run out of gas, this bike's got a gas gauge on it. So let's hear this thing. I don't think I have to pull the clutch on it, but let's go. Oh yeah, you can tell it's a big motor. It's got a very low and deep rumble to it. Pretty quiet. I'm sure when you hop on it going down the road, it's going to give you some attitude. But again, fully stock bikes, it is not ridiculous. So if you're starting the bike up in a densely populated neighborhood at, say, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, it's not very loud. Now we have high beam, low beam, high beam, low beam. But yeah, you're not going to be waking up neighbors. Unless you get an exhaust for it, then you can wake them up all you want. So let's go. This is left front. Now these turn signals, they give an appearance. Now they're LED. They give an appearance that they are an aftermarket turn signal. Look how thin they are. Nice low profile. That's front and rear. Gonna go right, rear, right front. This is gonna be foot brake. And then handbrake.
Remember to hit like and subscribe and ding that notification bell for updated content. Thank you.
So everything works. It's tip top. Oh yeah, up here is your selector. So you can see. For your trip. So if you have your trip, that should zero it out. There you go. Just by hitting this button, you hold it down and zeroes out. Pretty simple stuff. Overall package on this bike is really, really nice. It's got a very aggressive stance to it, but again, you're not on a bike that's super stretched out. It's very manageable, especially if you've ridden bikes before. You know, most beginners are not going to be jumping on something like this unless maybe you've ridden some dirt bikes or something in the past and you're just jumping on something because you want it. I get it. But for an experienced rider, you will be pleasantly surprised that this bike has more than enough power, sounds great, it's just very comfortable ride. It's very smooth with the wider front tire in the front, which does have a lot of meat on it. Same thing with the rear. But then also every one of our bikes gets a 48-point checklist. So we're going over things, you know, like oil and filter. Those are basic things. Checking the brake pads and steering head bearings. Everything that we can go over as much as possible to ensure that when you get a bike from us, it is as close to 100% as we can make it. Let's go.
When we service your bike, we hand you a key, not a need to have a toolbox.
We also put a battery tender lead on every one of our bikes as well, so that when you're done with your ride, you can just pull it into the garage or wherever you park your bike, plug it into your battery tender, and keep your battery in tip-top shape. So all those little detail items, we try to go over as much as possible, so that when you get a bike from CycleHunters.com, you're just thumbing the starter, listen to your motor rumble, smile on your face, put it in gear, release the clutch, give it some gas, and go down the road and just enjoy riding your bike. And that is a beautiful bike. Gorgeous, gorgeous machine. You gotta like it. Anytime we can get these, we get them because they are just stunning bikes. They fulfill that little bit of a custom chopper need for somebody. Again, if you're somebody that wants something different, you're not wanting the same old cruiser, well, that is it. It doesn't get much bigger. Kawasaki does make a 2000cc cruiser, but again, that's more like your traditional cruiser. And then Triumph makes a Rocket 3 2300, which now the newer ones are much more of a muscle bike look. The older ones still have that cruiser look, but it's not that. It's not that chopper, that kind of raked out look to it. Beautiful bike. You can just see all the little details when you get into it. That's the beauty of these things. Just good looking bikes. So if you're digging the 2015 Yamaha Raider 1900, give us a call at 717-273-1809. You can see the full list of inventory, the current list of inventory, at www.cyclehunters.com. You can email us at cyclehunters@gmail.com. We have some financing options available. We can deliver bikes in some cases, ship them, aftermarket warranties. It really comes down to what is it that we need to do to try to help accommodate you, so that can be in your garage or wherever you park your bike, so that you can just get ready for your ride, enjoy life a little bit more on two wheels. Yep, that is what it's all about. We are riders taking care of riders. Hey guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to our videos. We love showing you all these bikes. They are all for sale, but it's just kind of cool that we get all these different bikes in here. That's the type of shop we are. We just really enjoy what we do. We just love bikes. Two wheels and a motor, and look how many different ways all that can be accomplished. From the smallest bike to the biggest bike, to the cruisers, to the sport bikes, they're all fun. So until the next bike, happy riding.